It seems like pretty much everywhere you go online in witch or spiritual spaces, you're met with some pretty strong opinions about baneful magic.
So today, as part of our October series, we thought we'd cover jinxes, hexes, and curses, what they are, why people are so opinionated about them, and our personal beliefs when it comes to baneful magic.
Let's break down this spiritual trend.
Before we start explaining more about this baneful magic stuff, we need to give some disclaimers and warnings.
First, we are not here to teach you how to harm anyone or do anything illegal.
2, a lot of things involving witchcraft in general come down to your own personal beliefs and comfortability. If you aren't comfortable doing baneful things, then just don't do it. It's that simple, honestly.
Lastly, we aren't here to tell you right from wrong or tell you what to believe in. We want to give you a quick rundown on the topic so you can have a more informed opinion before you decide to do any research on your own.
So let's start with some basic definitions. The first one being a jinx.
So a jinx is more on a lower level idea of a baneful spell. So jinxes are usually minor inconveniences. So it can be like bad luck, you can be like tripping up the stairs,
stepping in water puddles with your socks on. But pretty much a jinx is something where you don't have to even intentionally cast it like a hex or a curse. It can kind of just happen on its own.
Yeah. It's like the same concept of like an evil eye spell. It's not something that's necessarily intentionally given to someone. It might just be you have bad intentions towards them, so a jinx may or may not happen.
But pretty much it's like a bad luck, like a soft bad luck type spell.
It usually goes away on its own or lasts very, very short amount of time, like a few days, maybe a week. So next is a hex.
So a hex is more of like a step up from a jinx. You're deliberately casting a spell, and some people kind of view it as a lesser curse. Mm-hmm. So it's gonna last longer than a jinx, like maybe a couple weeks, a month or so, something like that.
Yeah, so a hex can be like your intention is to make someone lose their job or make them break up or something along those lines, but it is intentional and usually it will go away on its own.
But lastly is the curse, which is more of an intended spell to inflict harm or punishment on someone or something. So this is kind of like the big daddy of the three of them and the one that people usually think about when it comes to like casting baneful spells or doing baneful magic.
Yeah, because sometimes people use all of these interchangeably to mean the same thing, but the difference between these is what we're saying. So a curse is usually something that doesn't go away on its own. It's usually something that is intentionally casted onto you, and a lot of times it lasts for a long period of time. So it could last 10 years, it could last a lifetime, it can even like be a generational curse and go throughout different family lines.
Yeah, so this is the like blood curse that you would think about.
But you usually have to do something to get rid of the curse. It's not something that's going to necessarily go away on its own.
Now, depending on where you get your information from, a lot of these terms get used kind of interchangeably, like we were saying before. Terms and definitions vary by culture, author, or belief sets, but the general consensus is they're all various forms of spells or magic to produce some sort of harmful effect.
This is also where the term baneful comes in. Baneful magic is sometimes called left-hand magic or dark or black magic, and stereotypically refers to various practices that are looked down upon because they cause harm or bring about negative effects.
In a lot of spaces online, when people talk about curses or other baneful magic, they bring up a lot of reasons as to why it's scary or evil or something you shouldn't do. And it kind of tends to work because it capitalizes on the fear of things going wrong for the caster itself. So this is pretty much things that other people in the community, whether you're getting information online or even from books, kind of warn against or tell you why you shouldn't do baneful things. And in our opinion, a lot of it comes just from like fear mongering and fear.
Exactly.
But these are kind of the general things.
Yeah, my favorite one is like either karmatic like responses to things or like that threefold law. Because a lot of times what people believe with the threefold law is that if you put something out into the universe, you're going to receive it 3 times as worse or as good, whatever you're putting out. And for one, why is that happening? I don't know, that's my opinion, because I'm like, I don't know, it's kind of like a naturalistic thing. So like if you're going to, I don't know, poke a bear with a stick, you're going to have a natural consequence to that. But I don't know.
Well, I personally feel like this one gets people trapped in that they can only do like positive or like light magic type things because of the three folds law. Well, if you do like light things, then you'll get back good. But to me, that's too much of a black or white type way of thinking for this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I just don't understand why it would come back 3 times as anything. What does 3 mean? You're going to get the natural consequence of anything you do, regardless of if it's a spell or if you're like talking to someone. So like, if you're putting something out into the universe, you're going to get a result that is the most balanced back. Understanding that it's like this 3-fold and it's going to come back worse, I don't necessarily know that that's going to happen. It's more so along the lines of you're going to get the like balanced response back.
Yeah. So the next one is like kind of community rules. A lot of spaces treat baneful things as more advanced type of magic, and so a lot of people are like, you shouldn't do this because you're a baby witch, you don't have enough information, this is like, you have to be prepared to deal with the consequences or the blowback of it, and baby witches aren't doing that. To me, it's a little like infantilizing of people. Obviously, like, maybe don't do like a blood curse for your first one, but if you want to, who's gonna stop you?
Yeah, I mean, we've been reading a lot of books lately that talk about the ideas surrounding like baneful magic and stuff like that. And it's very natural for people to get into witchcraft and want to do a hex on something or hex on someone. And I just think it's interesting because spreading the idea that you need to have all of these like, I don't know, certifications or like skill levels creates more fear-mongering aspects, so you put more fear into the spell versus like the intention that you want back.
And then last is kind of the like placebo effect. So if you're doing a like baneful spell and you're expecting some sort of mess, you're going to start noticing every small thing that happens and attribute it to a sort of backfire or negative consequence for you. So if you cast a hex on someone, let's say, so they like, or a jinx, let's say, so they stub their toe constantly, and you accidentally like hit your knee, you're gonna be like, oh no, it backfired on me, what did I do? But like, there are times where things just happen. Not everything is a direct result of the spell that you cast.
Right. So if you think something like bad is going to happen, a lot of times that fear will just manifest into those things happening.
And then loss of control. A lot of people are really afraid of it because they're like, well, what if I cast it and the spell goes out of control and it spirals or snowballs into something else, and like, I don't know what to do about it. I don't think that that's gonna happen to you personally.
Well, it's interesting because would you even be able to cast a spell that would be out of your control unless you're like specifically just using someone else's spell?
Well, what if like that kind of outcome is what is supposed to happen?
It's going to make
so
the like result you're looking for.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if you're using your energy, how can you not be able to stop it at your energy?
Exactly. Last but not least is the media portrayal. A lot of people get their ideas from movies and TV shows, and the Satanic Panic plays a big role into all of that. We'll be having a deep dive video coming out on the Satanic Panic, so you'll be able to find that. It'll be linked in the description below once it comes out. But a lot of it is just kind of fear-mongering, and those ideas affects you and make you think that it's like everything is attributed to something dark, satanic, or bad.
Yeah, and I know we're not in the Satanic Panic anymore, but we have a lot of influence from that period of time. That's why people are so afraid of like using Ouija boards when it's literally just like either cardboard or just wood. and we're afraid that it's just being in our house, it's going to open a portal and dark things are going to come through it, even if you never touch it.
Yeah.
So that idea comes from the satanic panic.
So don't take everything that you see from like media or TV shows as like the law or exactly how something is going to happen or turn out. And even from other creators online, I would say don't look at what other creators are doing and or other witches practitioners and think that it's going to happen exactly like what they do. Everyone is different. You're going to do things in your own unique way, and that's kind of at least to us, part of the fun of doing.
Yeah, and you need to do your own research, because finding people online, like, you don't know what research they have done. You don't know what kind of magic that they do.
You don't know what their biases are, where like what has influenced them, what's their upbringing. Maybe you're not an overly religious person, but they have a lot of religious trauma, or like they are very religious. So depending on the practitioner's background, their own belief system, things are going to like change. So
don't get caught up in comparing yourself.
Yeah. So that's kind of goes into the next part, where we're going to tell you our opinions about how we think people should approach baneful magic.
So one of the things I wanted to ask you though is, like, have you ever done like other people's spells? How does that work? Because from my experience, I've only ever made my own spells for the most part. So when I do baneful things, I know exactly what the spell is supposed to do, so I don't have any fear of it like doing something I don't intend.
Yeah. I haven't done baneful spells that were other people's, but I've done other people's like prosperity spells and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that it can be like a good starting point, but in my opinion, regardless of what you do, your intention and what you are doing the spell for is inherently going to change the spell in and of itself. And this is like a side note, but I feel the same way about sigils. Because I've seen people be like, well, what if like someone made this sigil or this spell and they say that it's for this like good purpose, but you use it and you're actually inflicting a curse on yourself. I don't think that's how that works. I don't think that's how it works, because you don't have that intention. You are taking just the information and you are transmuting it and changing it into the desired outcome you want.
Yeah, because the like concept of you creating the like drawing the sigil or whatever on it is putting whatever intention you think the sigil means.
Exactly.
Okay, so that makes sense, because I'm like, well, I've never really like done someone else's spell like to a T, and I would feel like a baby witch would be like, I'm nervous about doing baneful things, so I need to follow everything to a T. So if I fold the paper close like towards me, I'm gonna cause it to like happen to me. You know what I'm saying?
And I followed a lot of that when I started doing witchcraft, like back in the day. And I was following a lot more of like those kind of strict rules.
Yeah.
And to me, I felt like it was super limiting, or because I had an idea of what someone else told me of what the outcome had to be.
Right.
If it wasn't exactly like that, I was like, oh, maybe it didn't work. But if you think about it, what works for someone else isn't exactly what I need, or how it's not going to affect me the same way. I did a hex on an ex of mine a while forever ago. Afterwards, I had like a string of like bad luck and things happen. My April trip to Boston were like pickpocketed, a whole mess. I've talked about in other content. But I had another like witch friend of mine tell me that it backfired on me because of I didn't like bring some of the like items that I used in the curse with me, and it was like, oh, you're supposed to do that, and I was like, well, that seems dumb. And so I was like, oh, maybe it did, but in reality it was just
that was its way of getting
that was its way of kind of getting rid of stuff. So it wasn't necessarily just on the ex I was doing it on, it was on other things in my life as well. So that's to me how the like three folds law actually works, where it might have an effect on you, but it's not inherently like some bad thing. that kind of cleared out a lot of bullshit from my life.
Yeah, because it's not going to necessarily backfire, but like if you're trying to do this like really powerful spell, regardless of if it's painful or not, sometimes you have to make room for it in your life.
Exactly.
So you might experience a death card in order for you to like like in an X situation, you need to go through the process of detaching. And all of the things that that person did in your life is going to impact your choices further down the line. So you're making choices to be in situations even though they're gone. So because you put the spell, it seems like you're experiencing all of these horrible things, but in actuality, that is just clearing house, and that is the spell working. Yeah.
Usually when Em and I do like any baneful type of spells, we always set kind of a like condition or a rule. So if we're, let's say, doing kind of like a baneful binding spell on someone, there's some condition or rule that that individual has to meet, and then it ends on them.
Yeah.
So it's not like a forever thing.
It's like a karmatic
exchange. I've seen a lot of people online talk about like cursing, like if you curse someone, that curse is going to like siphon your energy forever if it's a forever curse. I personally don't agree with that. For me, I set conditions because even if I'm doing something baneful to someone, my intent so far with doing things has never been to like curse and ruin this person's life forever. It's usually just a baneful type thing to stop them from inflicting harm or doing things towards me. And then once they stop doing said thing, it stops and they can go about their business.
Yeah, the way I like to think about it is like you can do a baneful protection spell or whatever. It's like similarly to having like an electric fence surrounding a building. Technically, you would get harmed if you touch the fence, but if you don't touch the fence, you're good.
Yeah.
You know? Karmatic response. If you want to go in and like screw with people, you're going to have a natural response to it, a natural consequence, regardless of if there's a spell or not. Like, so that's why I'm like, people are so like bent out of shape about baneful things, because a lot of people are like, a lot of witches and creators in this space are very like, well, I can't say that I do anything baneful. I can't talk about baneful things because people are going to come in and be like, you're doing so dumb things. Like you're going to have this like come back at you. You're a horrible person. But it is literally just a natural consequence. Someone caused you to do said baneful spell. Something caused you to do that baneful spell. That is a natural consequence of now you're going to send negative intentions back to them. So like you can do it either of like, I'm detaching you and not being your friend anymore, or you can put a fucking curse on them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's
a natural consequence.
And to me, at the end of the day, it's all about the intention. So what you intend to get out of it, what your intention is to inflict on this other person. And maybe you're just an evil bitch and you have no reason and you want to like hex or curse someone.
Yeah,
there's nothing stopping you from doing that.
But you might get your natural equal and opposite reaction.
And I don't think the universe is going to unjustly like allow those things to happen. I personally don't think that you're gonna like accidentally curse, like you're gonna curse someone and somehow they like die.
Yeah.
And it's, or if
bring like the plagues from like the Bible or something.
But we've had a lot of people that we've talked to in our community who have been kind of scared about doing baneful things, and even not just in our community, people are just kind of scared of it. I think if you are terrified that something is going to backfire and hurt you so bad, you're more likely to bring that energy to you.
It's also like, where's the line of baneful? Because like you can put, because we saw another video that's similar to this, you can put a spell up of like, I want to get a new job. Technically you're taking that job from someone else, right?
Yeah.
Is that baneful? Or like the electric fence, it's not hurting anyone if no one touches it. Is that baneful? You know, like where is the line? Where do you think is, like, what do you think is actually baneful?
Yeah, or I've seen people who have done a baneful spell on someone and then something happened to their target that was out of the scope of what they intended.
Right.
And they worried that they caused that. And they were like, well, that's not my intention. And it's like, well, those things happen. Like if you hex or curse someone because they're a pain in your ass or they're, causing all of this harm to you. And then the next day they get into a car accident. That doesn't necessarily mean that you caused that car accident.
Right.
And to me, that is when you have to kind of take a step back and think about mundane things, sometimes just being mundane things. Like there are thousands of car accidents that happen every single day. If that person got hit by someone else, that doesn't mean that you caused it. If they swerve, that doesn't mean that you caused it. If it's outside of what you intended, I don't think that you are the cause of it. Especially this kind of stuff that like we're talking about the average person is going to
be a killing spell or something.
But also, if you're going to do baneful magic, be prepared for
consequences.
For something to happen. And if you are scared about that, then just don't do baneful magic. No one is like holding a gun to your head forcing you to do baneful magic or do harm to someone else. But if you're going to, then like
there is going to be a reaction to you doing a spell in general, baneful or not. So you have to be prepared you may have to prepare yourself in your life for whatever your spell is intending to do.
I think a lot of people put too much fear behind baneful magic. Baneful magic has existed and been a thing for so long.
Yeah.
And it's a natural part of like witchcraft, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's just balance.
Yeah.
In general, it's just the universe.
Like you can use it to like set boundaries, remove like bad shit. Like it's no different than any other type of spell to me. Like
so like one of the things that we've done together is the 7 Deadly Sins spell, which I talk about a lot. It was so cool. It was a really big spell. But the concept of it is we used the 7 deadly sins, and we used the 7 virtues. So if anyone in our lives or surrounded us had any one of these 7 deadly sins and were presenting like negative intentions towards us that related to any one of these things, something in the spell would happen. So they would be impacted by that spell in their lives until they were able to like learn from it, move on. And then the virtue side of it would be the opposite, and they would pretty much like change the negative sin that they were putting towards us and make it more of a virtue like benefit for us. It's an interesting spell, but a lot of people would see it as baneful because we're literally like, we tied the 7 deadly sins to the demon counterpart of them. So the demon that is tied to each one of the sins would be able to like directly impact the spell in and of itself. And then we tied the angels to the virtues to go with it. So the angels would do it in the opposite manner. But baneful protection is the stuff we do the most when it comes to witchcrafty, baneful things. Yeah, it's if you cross this line, an electric fence is going to deter you to go away. But basically, if you guys want to do baneful things, like, I encourage you to try it. But if you're uncomfortable, you don't have to. Yeah. I just want to, like, get it in people's head, like, to be like mindful of the stereotypes surrounding like baneful magic, and there's just a lot of fear mongering, especially in this space. So like things that you don't even think would be baneful could be considered that as well. So like just understand what you're comfortable doing and understand there is going to be a reaction to everything that you do. Yeah, not everything has to be like love and light, pretty positive. Like sometimes a little bit of baneful magic is needed. Sometimes it helps you learn lessons. Sometimes politely telling someone to leave you alone isn't enough. Like, sometimes they need to know. Sometimes they need to know. Sometimes they need to know about their bad actions. So just work within whatever you're most comfortable with.
Don't do any, like, if you're afraid or feel like something is too far for you, just don't do it.
Yeah.
Or if you feel like you want to do something, just full send into it. Don't be afraid of doing it. And
put your intentions in it.
Yeah.
You know what you want to happen. It's not going to, like, put doom onto your family if you don't intend it to do that.
Yeah. But if you've done baneful magic, you should let us know in the comments what you've done, so that way we can read all of your baneful things.
Tell us what you did and tell us what happened, because I love hearing comments like that, because I'm like, oh my god, so many things that I've done, I was not expecting what the outcome was. I knew what the outcome was going to be, but I didn't know how it was going to get there. And it's so cool to see comments like that and other people's experiences, and I need to know all of them. So please down below, go there now.
But thanks for watching our video. If you guys don't know, October is a crazy month for us. We have a bunch of investigations going out over on those meddling mediums, so go check that out. Those are going out every Friday. We have more videos coming out the rest of this month on this channel.
As well as podcasts.
And podcasts. And then we also launched a lot of new things. Yes. So we have new merch, as seen of us wearing. This is the button-up. This is Summoner's button-up.
This is the Devil's baseball tee.
And we have a bunch of other merch. It's called the Midnight Panic Collection. So the kind of whole theme around this month is baneful.
Baneful, satanic panic, demons.
Occult, which is kind of just who we are in general, but we made a collection out of it. Speaking of baneful spells, we have baneful spell candles that are currently out. We have 6 different baneful spell candles. So this one that I'm holding is Dazed and Diffused, and it's kind of a like fog the mind confusion spell. If you need to confuse someone, kind of rattle their brain, make them not think straight, this is a perfect one, and it smells amazing.
But we chose all of the herbs, crystals, and charms to specifically be intended towards the spell. So you can use these items how you would like in your practice. You can even just like burn their name in it. But I do want to say everything in here is flammable, so be cautious. Use smart fire things. But all of these things, the Midnight Collection, the Midnight Panic, as well as the Petty Baneful Lie candles, these are going to only be available during the month of October. So if you guys are interested, make sure that you get them before Halloween.
And if you want to see any exclusive content like bloopers from us filming this, because there are some funny bloopers, we have new memberships launching over on the website as well, which have a whole slew of perks. We are kind of redoing our entire membership system, so we're moving away from Patreon and YouTube memberships and bringing it more in-house. So go to ouroboros-productions.com. The link will be in the description.
Yes.
And that will have, that's where you can find everything we just talked about. New content, exclusive content, merch, candles, everything.
Yes.
So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all of the YouTube-y things, and let us know what spiritual trend we should break down next.
And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Goodbye.
Bye.